Okay, so let me see if I am live. Hi, guys. Thank you so much. Yes, after 2 weeks, I am back. Rani Jhansi ji is actually on a roll. Justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. Okay, awesome. Yes, indeed. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Selina ji, hi. Sukhija ji, welcome back. Okay, so what is the topic of the day? The topic is it's a little too broad, but let me flash the question right here on the screen. What are your top 3 expectations from yourself? So that's the question of the day. If you have any answers, please put them on the chat and I will also put my answers. Basically, the topic is our capacity for greatness. Our capacity for greatness and what happens that stops us from achieving it. That is the topic of the day. Okay. So based on that, I want to narrow this whole thing. Let me go stop the camera until the video gets better and then I'll keep talking. Okay. So what are the top 3 expectations that you have from yourself? That is the question of the day. And this is in context with what stops us from preventing, what stops us from achieving our best. Okay, so let's see. Amarji, hi, welcome. Neelima, how are you? Sukija ji, hello. Denver. Okay, so that's a new name that I'm seeing. Hi, welcome. So I've decided that whenever my internet is a little slow, I'm going to go off the camera just to preserve. I have no idea. Sometimes it keeps happening. Okay, so if you have any comments, please put it out here. But the question of the day is, what are your top 3 expectations from yourself? And I will write down my expectations, or I'll just tell you right now, and I'll repeat whenever new people keep joining. The first thing is, I want to live in a way that reflects my true personal values. That is my expectation from myself. So if you can see, I'm only talking about expectations that I have with myself, not from anybody else. Because how do we live our lives usually? It's either my husband or my wife or my partner. If you just sleep really well, okay, or if you just sleep a little, or if you eat, without making a lot of noise, or if you can just try to be a little better, we think that that will make our life happy. We usually outsource our happiness onto other people, right? So, but the point I want to make here is, what are the top 3 expectations that you have from yourself? Because at the end of the day, we should all be trying to impress ourselves rather than anybody else. That's my belief. Okay, so you might agree or might not agree. So the word, the question of the day is, again, what are your top 3 expectations from yourself? Okay. So usually, when we are having these expectations, okay. So Amarji has one answer, his answer. So he says, trying to play badminton better, less argument for the day, try to do one good thing. These are great expectations to have from yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you see Amarji, you will see that it is you who are in control of these expectations, whether you will be able to live up to this or not. Right? So Geeta Mehraji, how are you? Very nice to see you here. So what are your expectations? Yes, so Kay is back and she says only 3. Yes, ma'am. So let's see the top 3. You might have a lot of expectations from yourself, but what are your top 3 and how do you stay engaged in the pursuit of managing those expectations? Because expectations can give you a great purpose to get through the day, through the week, through the month, and generally in life. So, what is what are expectations? So let's just talk a little bit about what expectations are, and let me flash the StreamYard link if anybody wants to join, so that, and also let me copy this question so that everybody can see it. Question of the day. Let's put it on the comments for anybody to see, and I will try to pin this if I can pin it. No, I don't know how to pin it, I believe. Let me see. I don't know how to pin it. Okay, so let's see. So the question that I'm again trying to follow up here is, what are your top 3 expectations from yourself, just generally throughout the day? So Amarji was saying that, hey, I want to play badminton better. So he's setting an intentionality to do better. So that is what he's doing, right? So he's already setting an expectation. He's setting an intention to do something better over and over again. So that is expectation management with yourself. The other thing is, let me flash this in. Hi, Soundscapes, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so K says, be kind to myself, not have any regrets, and understand the higher purpose of life. That is awesome. So this is the beauty, right? When you set expectations with yourself, you are able to set an intentionality on life, and that is where our capacity for greatness lies, because everything else is noise. It's just noise. Okay, something has released on OTT platform, some movie is released, something is happening, some atrocity has happened. Okay, of course I want our civic engagement to be at the highest, which it is, as you can see with SSR Justice Movement or anything, right? But at the end of the day, how do you challenge yourself to get better? What is your inherent capacity for greatness that is just stopping you because of all the noise that you are getting carried away from? Okay, so yes, soundscapes. I had to take a physical, physiological, and mental. Just wanted to step back and reset my priorities, especially for the new year. It is our new year. It was our new year 2 days ago. So I was like, okay, let me reset completely and try to restart. Arunji, welcome, welcome. Vaibhavji, how are you? Okay, Jai Hind. So here is the thing, right? So what are we talking about? The top 3 expectations that we have with ourselves. I wanted to flash the whole thing, and then I completely. Okay, this is the link that if anybody wants to join. The topic of the day is, I just posted the question right there. The 3 expectations that you have with yourself to stay accountable, to achieve the greatest. Like, so Kay was just saying, right? Let me flash all these wonderful comments that I have here. So her expectations with herself are to be kind to myself, not have any regrets, and understand the higher purpose of life. So again, whenever my internet is weak, I'm trying to go off the camera, so excuse me. And here, let me do one thing. Yes, so Amarji Kavi, there was one thing. Trying to play better badminton, having less arguments for the day, and try one good thing. So these are beautiful expectations that you can set your morning with, so that you are, you're already striving for excellence. You're already striving for greatness, because everything again is noise. Okay, we are going to unpack it a little by little in a little bit. Okay, so Anuradha ji says, to be calm and ignore negativity. That is a great expectation to set on, because what you are doing is you're already establishing a baseline. Like Anuradha ji, she's doing that to be calm and ignore negativity. What does that mean? She's already setting a baseline. Nothing else can just penetrate me and like bother me. So she's already setting an expectation. This is how I'm planning to live my day or my week or my month or anything, right? To just relax. Okay, so okay, I have one more. Expecting things from life means you have to live in the future and lose your present because of your past things. Okay, this is a very, very good point. I will also touch on this mindfulness thing here that Soundscapes is talking about. So there are Soundscapes brings about a very, very important topic here, where he's saying that The idea is positively, how can I use my expectations to propel myself? There is a very, very big negative aspect that it takes away from our present and reduces our peace of mind, because we have expectations that, hey, I want to play badminton better, but I'm not able to do that. Why am I so bad? So it is taking you away from that moment and like transporting you to someplace else where you should not be. So this is a great point. We are also going to be touching on that. Thank you, Soundscapes. So uh, positively and negatively also, our expectations hurt us. I mean, excuse me, negatively they hurt us, but positively they can propel us to do the best. Okay, so let's do one thing. I just wanted to thank you, Kay. I also missed the whole, I feel like just I feel alive and I feel like I matter whenever I'm doing something, contributing. So life is not something to expect from, something to just throw, at least expect, you will somehow need to adjust yourself to it. Okay, yes. So so Soundscape. So the generic question that I've asked you is positive intentionality setting, just from yourself. What are you expecting? So that the reason why I asked that question is high expectations will only lead to high results. Okay, of course, there are many ways to unpack that, but you have to have, if you want a high result, you have to have high expectations from yourself or from your child or generally from anybody. Otherwise, if you have lowered your standards enough, you're like, blah blah blah, I will just like, anyway I'm going to settle down for less, why should I work harder? So that is the whole idea, right? So that is the context in which I'm operating from. So okay, so Rudar, I think this is a brand new name. I haven't seen till now. How to stop thinking that we do not get affected by other people. Okay, so a little bit of this I'm going to touch in this session, because our capacity for greatness, is usually muddled by what we think people will think about what we are doing, their expectations of us. We get a lot confused without setting a proper boundary and trying to understand what actually people understand from all the different roles we have. So, for example, I tell you, the same woman who is thoroughly loved by the child, like mom, 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 and everything, right? The same woman can be somebody's worst enemy, right? So how is that? There is an expectation gap here that that woman is unable to manage with this person who sees her as an enemy, versus the expectation gap with the child wants something, but this woman is providing over and beyond, so that's why the child adores the woman. But on the other hand, her friend, or like recent, like they broke up, or some partner, or any somebody like that can treat the same woman. So can you see, depending on the role that we play in society, and our expectations, things like this can happen. So let's do one thing. I'll just try to see if anybody is interested to join. You guys are welcome to hang out. So by other people. Oh no, I got your question with the G. Okay, so I'm trying to scroll through justice for justice. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the Rudraji, we are going to talk about it. So get affected because I try to build my knowledge, think what are the people and how to stop that. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll talk about it. Swatiji, what's up? Okay, expect to find clarity in chaos. 100%. That is the first. So we have 6 C's in our company, and what I do is clarity is the first thing. So I have 2 words. I keep using these phrases often: declutter radically and prioritize irrationally. So that's what I say. So finding clarity in the clutter is so critical for you to understand what is noise and what is important, so that you can set up your own expectations and your own boundaries with yourself. Okay, so yes, so pure soul, yes sir, we need to have high expectations as it helps us to work efficiently. Yes, 100%. Okay, so let's go back to our StreamYard link, and I will do one thing. I'll also post this if anybody is interested to join. Okay, so that's the link. If anybody can help me pin this comment, that will be great. I keep forgetting to ask any one of the YouTubers I know. Okay. And including Varun. Okay, so let's do this. I'll just continue talking unless somebody is interested in join. But again, the question for any one of you who is joining right now, thank you for your time again. I really appreciate all of you being here. You could be anywhere on the planet Earth, but you're here with me. So I appreciate that. So again, we are talking about a little bit about positive expectations and the crushing and the debilitating weight of other people's expectations, or even our own expectations on us. Okay, so somebody was asking here, right? Rudurji was asking, like, how do I stop worrying about or stop focusing about what other people are thinking about me? Just do my own thing, right? Like, how can I do that? So what is in the most positive sense of the way, what are expectations going to do? They are going to encourage the best out of us, because we want to work towards a cause. So if I am an SSR warrior, I want to be in my best form, always trying to fight for justice, always trying to, case your devices are not connected, so please set up the audio or something and then join. So how in the best, at the best, what they can do is they can encourage good behavior so that we can manage and meet our expectations. And in the most negative aspect, what happens is people like Rudurji will feel the crushing weight of, let me see, yeah, this is the comment that I'm addressing right now. They will, why couldn't I add her to the stream? Oh, now I'm adding her to the stream. Okay, great. So basically, 1 second, case. I'll just finish. Okay. So basically, the idea is, in the worst case scenario, what happens is we get crushed, like how Rudrji is getting crushed by the weight of expectations and commitments from himself and from others. Okay. And he probably is not, Rudrji, you're welcome to just come and hang out here. I won't eat you up. Okay. So the idea is, how can we stay focused? Okay, let me switch off my camera again. My internet says it's weak. Okay, so the idea is, again, remember, guys, I have to set expectations of what is happening right now with you. That, hey, my internet is weak, so I am going off the camera or something like that, right? Otherwise, what happens is you are like, okay, so what is happening? She is on camera, off camera. So it is as simple as that to communicate. It is as simple as that to just simply communicate what you are feeling so that you can manage your expectations to begin with. Okay, so Rudrji, as we keep going through the whole session, I will be unpacking a little more of these ideas. The first and the foremost being, the most important thing being, you communicating how you are feeling. Okay, so what is that pain point that you're feeling that is crushing you under the weight of expectations? Okay, so trying to express that. Again, I was saying earlier, we always want other people to change. We want other people to behave properly, eat properly, or sleep properly, or wear their clothes properly. Okay, we have expectations from others, but what about our own expectations from ourselves, so that we can become unstoppable and thrive to be our best versions at all times? So that is the whole agenda for today. Yes, ma'am. So welcome back. Welcome back. What do you think about the topic, and what are your ideas?
Hi, Rachna, and hello, everyone. Sorry, I
Hi.
want to say Happy Ugadi first. Nutana Samvatsara
Happy Ugadi.
Subhakanksha.
Happy Ugadi. Thank you, Subhakanshal. Thank you.
And I missed you because I think I wasn't there once for one of the shows, and then I think you were not there. So it
Okay,
was
I
like
believe so. Yeah.
withdrawal symptoms happening here. So I was like, oh, where is she?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
So
you.
I guess you had some internet issues as well. So probably that's why you were not there.
Yes. I just took a break a little bit, and my computer had broken. A
Oh,
lot of
I see.
things. Life happened. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you just asked top three, so I just came up with the top three for in my mind. But like, I have so
Yeah.
many expectations, like I want to get better at this, better at that. The list is endless. But I,
Okay.
I, I was just thinking, how do I communicate? effectively? Like I am communicating, but when there is no response back from the other side, how do you
Okay.
communicate in a team?
So
Like,
generally,
especially in this virtual world, when you're trying to communicate on Teams and there is no response from people, they're not checking their emails or whatever. I'm like, how do I make them accountable, or how do I make myself an effective communicator? I think that is going to help me. So, from
okay,
one of
awesome, awesome.
the huge list of things I need to get better at. Yeah.
So, to your point, what happens is even in our most, I have this personal experience with a friend where she was actually, one of my very, very, very good friends, like, meeting every week, like all kinds of things. And like, I don't know, maybe she'll end up watching this one day. I have no idea. Some of my very good friends watch this all the time. So, but she literally dropped off of the face of the earth for me. Like I spent almost 6 months trying to figure out what the problem was, right? So I still don't have an answer. But how I deal with that kind of a situation is from my end, I have put out all the communication. I have done my best to communicate and clarify anything that I feel might be the problem or anything like that, right? That is at a personal level. That is at a personal level. You can only do so much. And this is where I'm sure you might have heard of this concept called locus of control. It's heavily used in psychology, which is you will only do so much that is in your boundary of control, because how the other person reacts or anything is usually not in our control. So there is no point worrying about it. So that is at a personal relationship level. You're like, okay,
Sure.
so I have to, yeah, so I have to, like, okay, I cannot do much about it. I've done everything that I could, and that's where things are. But to your point about a professional setting where you are expecting the other person, so there is a lot at stake, right? So you're saying that the, yeah, so there is a lot at stake. Let's consider, just for your example, that you and so you were talking with a partner, potential partner for a business venture, and you had all these plans from the past 6 months, and you're about to jump into that project. I don't know your exact scenario. You can even explain more what the exact situation is.
So it's a
But
professional context. It's a professional context, and I was expected to make a project very very quickly in a very short time, which I was trying, but I was trying to get the resources from them as well so that I can make a proper resource. But obviously, I didn't get a feedback from them, so I was like, maybe they were not interested in sharing their work with me and stuff like that. And then I also got a kind of an unkind
very
reply from one
slow.
of the bosses. So that put me off moving forward and trying to take that communication forward. But I've done what I could, and I'm proud of myself for what I've done. But I thought maybe, I mean, I can only write an email and expect them to reply back, and when they don't reply back, I'm like,
Yeah,
what else can I do? I mean, I can go and put it on the WhatsApp group, but personally, I'm very determined not to take work onto your personal devices, and I really want to declutter from my devices. So I'm not happy
yeah,
to go everywhere and get things done, hook or crook. No, I'm not that. So I expect accountability to be taken by the other person as well, and there has to be a shift in this structure of how we deal with. I mean, professionally, we are very busy at work, and so we may not always check our hospital,
yeah,
our work emails. So
yeah.
so 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 I'm like, how do I get out of this situation? Yeah.
Okay, so here is the thing, right? So for you, let's do this. Maybe again, there are communication styles which are very, very different, and it depends on how the other person is thinking. That maybe just receiving that email was good enough for him or her, and he's already working in the background about it. There can be so many scenarios that can be happening, which you might
Yeah,
not be aware of. But
sure,
to
sure, sure.
your yeah, but to your thing, right? They should. So leadership, maybe this is what we teach, right? Like there can be no room for ambiguity and hope, especially when there is a lot of things are at stake. Hope, see, expectations is one form of a hope that is purely based on conjecture. It's just assumptions. So here is where I want you to take it through. So whatever, so you're saying by hook or crook, I don't want to hold that person accountable or not. That
Yeah, yeah,
you cannot. No, no, you cannot. See, the idea is you're not the hook. You are just saying, hey, this is. You have to be able to communicate with somebody else who is also part of the, who is the stakeholder, to say that, hey, this is my section of the job that is done already. The expectations that I had is the other person will contribute or revert back to me, and I haven't seen that. So this
yeah.
is
I
only
gave them
what
a
I can.
deadline as well. So I gave a deadline. I says, can you please get back to me by so and so date? Because in case they don't fulfill what there's expected of them, or what was their expectations from this
Yeah,
project, because that was something going on for a while, a year or something. So I was just asked in a very short time, like I did it in 2 full days, equivalent working time
procrastinate.
equivalent. So
Okay.
yeah,
So procrastination can also happen from the other end a lot of times, especially if they are paralyzed to take a big decision and own up to it. Okay,
sure,
so
sure. Yeah.
so there can be a lot of things that might be happening. So I am requesting you to not, just assume.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So and just
But
from
how can
your
I get
end,
better at my communication? I want to get better. I want to overcome if I have any limitation here. I mean,
no.
I
So
want to
there.
I want
Uh-huh.
to communicate at the same time. I don't want to go and interfere in their home, in the mobile when they're at home doing whatever they are doing. I have those set strong opinions as well.
No, no, these are all okay. So let me 1 second. I just want to address this a little bit. I think Pure Soul is here. I just want to first address you, and then I'll request him
Sure,
or
sure.
her to join. I think she or he dropped off. Okay, so let's do one thing. Here, I just want you to, if you can see my screen, I just want to explain to you something.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
do. Okay, so okay. So there is. So what you are detecting right now is, so again, your current state and your desired state. And for that, so plus your side of the equation, you, others. Okay. So here there is a little bit of an expectation gap here, because this is where what the end goal should be. Okay.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll tell you just with example, some of my parents keep asking me, and I keep telling this often to parents, that children sometimes don't behave because they simply don't know the rules. They just don't know what to do in a certain situation. It's literally as simple as that. So sometimes, uh, when I communicate, what I do is I try to keep the end in mind. So what I do is, with my children or with my friends or anybody, the end, what is the end result that we should all be able to see is, hey, we are going to meet at 7 p.m. to send off one person who is leaving our city forever. So that is the communication. So let's say I'm working on an event, a standard social distancing event. We are like trying to, send off some person. Okay. So how can we do this responsibly if everybody knows all the rules? So it will be like a social distance event. Please bring mask, like all kinds of things. So that I'm not building anything for assumptions. How can I assume that everybody is thinking like me? How can I assume that everybody is so respectful about the personal and the professional boundary levels that you are trying to address? Especially because, KS, you are saying that you want to respect privacy and everything, but do you know what
Yeah.
big technology?
Yeah.
So have you heard of this word? This is
Which
the
one?
gigantic 3-letter word that has sabotaged
What?
our personal. Yeah,
By
what is this?
what is it? What is it? What's
Let me see if anybody
no?
knows. Comment section. Let's see if anybody knows that. I don't think so. Let I haven't
I
seen
know
anything.
I know WTH, not FH.
Okay, so this is okay. So what the heck? No, this is work from home. Okay,
Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing, you see.
yeah, there you go. So yes, so because of the pandemic, even more of us who are fortunate enough to be able to work from home are working from home, right? So the question here is, the expectation from the boss or from your team is if you are working from home, this is like from the past 10 years, things have gotten so bad that I have clients who complain that their husbands are, working even sitting, in the bathroom, because they are 24/7, and the expectations from the teams are like they have to
Exactly,
be
exactly. Working from home
they
is a nightmare. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they are plugged in continuously, and this is so here. What we are doing is we are assuming a lot of things that, oh, maybe the other people are going to be super productive as I am. I mean, if I'm not as productive as they are, then I will not be an asset, or and I'll become a liability for my team, right? So we are all operating based on assumptions here, and generally the world of work from home. So I had like what work from home LOL. So that was the topic that I was working on earlier. Everybody has to. There's no work-life balance. When you are talking
Absolutely.
about, yeah. So there is. So where do you draw that line? So maybe for you, you are
I'm
still
strict now. I'm strict now. So I work
exact.
only the hours and I don't go beyond. So I made that a deadline for myself as well because work is
Yeah,
part of your life. It is not your entire life. So I'm coming to some radical
good.
ideas about living and working
Radical is the
actually.
word. Good. Yes. So for you,
Yeah.
see, bottom line. Okay, I just want to see if anybody else is waiting. Okay, no. So here, see what you are here. There are other people. First thing is leadership 101. Take charge, and communication is uh, showing the other people what the end result should look like. That is how the communication should be established. Not
Yes,
simply
that
asking a
personal,
question.
yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately that personal power is lost because you're working from home. And
yeah,
if I was at work, obviously people would be convinced and I could just tell them, can you please check your email and all that. So I have
yeah.
to compromise on my values here. I don't want to clutter people's personal spaces by bombarding them with information on the WhatsApp group because you have like 1,000 WhatsApp groups now. What is
Yeah,
this?
I know. I get hate mail also from my cousins and everybody that I don't check
Oh God,
their messages because I'm just so overwhelmed sometimes on WhatsApp.
it is
So
too
look,
much. Yeah.
so okay. So let's just come back here. See, the idea is your own. See, you are again operating on a lot of assumptions that you are intruding on somebody's personal life or anything. The end result is if you are steadfast. So again, I don't know if you were there on this episode about focus. For what is focus? Dogged focus is if you are, like your sister or brother or mother is stuck underneath a car case, will you wait
Oh,
and
you lift the
pass her
whole
by?
car up. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
heard that your pet is
yeah.
under the car or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Will you just wait there saying that, oh, there is a passerby who is biking and having a good time? I don't want to trouble him and ask him for help. You will just say, you will yank him from the bike and like make him come and help you out and all that, right? Like, so
Mhm.
where is that? Where is that end result ka focus? That is what we have to work on. So that is the main important thing here. So keep the end result in mind. It is nothing to do with you personally or with him or her personally. The goal here is to focus on the actual mission and accomplishing that. You're not doing anything for your personal cause or anything, right? So let's say one of my very best friend from childhood, she says something, Rachna, why don't you promote your brand? If you were inventing a cancer drug, would you just stay as quiet, right?
No,
So yeah, exactly. So that is the thing that gives me a lot of strength to
sure.
reach out to people and say that, hey, this is my strength, I can help you here, or like do something here. So the
You're
idea is,
awesome, by the way. You're awesome, by the way.
no,
You're
no,
quite
thank
blessed with a lot of knowledge to deal with these things. I think that's how I got hooked
no,
up to
thank
these
you, thank you.
sessions.
I appreciate that. No, so the idea is, let's not focus on personal aspects. Where is the
Sure.
mission here? The end result is the mission has to be accomplished. Maybe you're going to establish a brand new hospital with 1,000 people, 1,000 bed capacity, and you're going to change the world and give some, like especially London with social medicine and everything. Maybe you'll change some people's life. Who knows? Like, so eyes on the prize, eyes on the prize. Okay, so that is the key thing for you. I just try to think about this and eliminate every other noise. The what will they think, or maybe I'm disturbing you. All these, this is noise. Okay, so let's
Mm.
just clear through
Okay.
that. Yeah, so and
Sure.
just try to see. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So I'm
Sure.
just, you're welcome to hang out. I'm just going to check the comments a little bit, and then
Sure.
we can.
Please do. Please do. Please do. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you. So I see Team SSR is here. Welcome, welcome. I am pretty sure I have missed out a lot of. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all your comments. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try to go back. Uh, Sometimes we get into situations where we feel helpless and we are unable to do anything. So how can we deal with these type of situations? So I believe Pure Souls, sir or madam, you tried to come in and then you left. So you're welcome to come. But so okay, so this is a very broad question. We get into situations where we feel helpless and we are unable to do anything. So the question is very broad, but how I'm trying to understand here is, again, expectation management. Where is a gap in the expectations? Why are you feeling that overwhelm? Why are you feeling that crushing burden on you? Have you communicated effectively? Sometimes what happens is, I have some professional, like clients who want to like get somebody wants to be in the C suite, like they want a nice corner office and they want to be a CEO. So we are working on that. At that level, or even at a housewife level, where I am a housewife, right? I have to manage so many things and manage expectations. Okay, yesterday was our new year. So there have to be some things lined up because I want to showcase what I can do for my family and what our culture represents, right? So I have to do so many things based on my personal expectations and what society's expectations are. So, like that, here, where is the, try to understand the context and try to understand where your boundaries are, and if anybody is stepping into them demanding something from you, you can say, hey, these are my limitations, this is what I can do, this is, so I have some strengths, yes, I'm good, but if you want me to be like plumber, or like an expert in like fixing your pump, like your broken pipe or something, I cannot do it. I don't have the capacity. So even Sadhguru says this, right? We are often trying to, a fish is put next to a tree and it is trying to, if you judge the fish by its capacity to climb the tree, the fish is going to fail, obviously, right? So expectations have to be within the framework and the context of your strengths and your personal capacity, right? So, and again, we were just talking to KS, eyes on the prize. What is it, end goal that you both want? Is it taking away from you or is it nurturing you, pure soul? So please think about that. Okay, so less is more. Hello, Shivani ji, very nice to see you. Satish ji, okay, so you both are friends. I know that from Vaibhav's channel. Okay, so Geeta Mehra ji, good evening, everyone. Geeta ji, you're always nice to see you and your service, your child service for the nation. Top three expectations for self to become healthier and more. Sorry, Freeze ji. Sorry, 1 second. I'll come back to you. I just want to finish comments and then I'll come. Okay. So top three
Yeah,
expectations.
cool.
Okay, thank you. So top three expectations for self. Again, remember, Shivani ji, thank you. The only point here is my expectations with myself. That's all I'm talking about, because the crushing weight of how you cannot arrive at your greatness is because we often underestimate and overestimate what society or anything expects from us, right? So we do, we don't think with in clarity in all those aspects. So her top three expectations are to become healthier and more energetic, to be able to use 24 hours in a better way. 24 hours, no, please reframe that. Shivani ji, please sleep. So minus karo, I sleep 8.5 hours. So let's say like, okay, at least 14 hours. I want you to be able to use in a better way. The rest of the 8 hours or something, you'll have to sleep. So let's reframe that, because I cannot tell you with all the SSR warriors, please, sleep is so critical. I want to do an entire episode, like 100 episodes on sleep. Okay, and to be able to focus better on the task at hand. So Shivaniji, great points. And focus, that word focus is the absolute key determinant of success. Passion. Okay, so you have the passion, you know what you're talking about, you're super interested to level up yourself in that thing, right? That is one thing. And dogged focus, 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 focus. These are so important. So great expectations from yourself, more power to you. Okay, so Amit Shuklaji, by the time I read this Hindi comment, I think it will be time for me to end the show, but I will try my best. मैम मेरी माता जी बताती है 30 साल पहले मेरे दादाजी ने दो मुस्लिम भाई को बगल में बसाया था. बाप रे, ओके यार, कैन somebody okay, so I'll do one thing and try to set this aside, and if anybody can come and explain, that will be awesome. Okay, so sometimes we get into situations. Yes, yes. Okay, so Varun Kapoor. So whatever comments are at Varun Kapoor are mine. Sorry, I think it's just a administrative thing. So what if my excellence and greatness is stalled and hampered because of the corruption and faulty system? It builds hopelessness and helplessness, followed by frustration. It is my personal story. Oh my God, I would love to address this and at length. Okay, so give me one chance. I'll come back to this, please, G, because it is very important that we talk about this stuff. Okay, good question, Pure Soul. Okay, Fizanji, Arunji. Okay.
Call me freeze only.
Okay, freeze, freeze. Done, freeze. Yes, last time we agreed on that. Follows Sanatan and things that fall in place, and one is fulfilling duties and responsibilities. Jai Shri Ram. Okay, yes. Expectations. Yes, follow your Sanatana Dharma. That is what I want to follow. My Sanatana Dharma says that kindness, is the key. Like not having, expectations and desires for the fruits of the task that you are doing, right? What Bhagavad Gita says, like all those things are the make up the personal value system for me. So those are where my expectations come from. I have a great expectation from my dad when he will uptick my pocket money, which hardly sounds scared. The topic is only about expectations from you, not from your papa. Okay, so good one though. Okay, thank you. Nepali New Year. Okay, that's awesome. I did not realize that. So I believe we have a great SSR warrior who is Nepali also. I think I follow her on Twitter. Okay, folks, join and make the session more interactive. What about you, Soundscapes? Oh, I think you're not 18, I believe. Okay, thank you, Archana. Okay, so let's take up. Okay, one more and then we'll take a phrase. Okay, so Gurpreet Singh says our capacity for greatness and wants only procrastination and false expectations, the rest all are myth. Okay. Simple and straightforward. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, so procrastination also it's really related to science and like how our brain is wired, right? Like we talked about it earlier also, earlier sessions maybe. So let's see. सब मोह माया है बाकी कुछ मिथ्या है. Okay. We are going into okay, supervisor. Okay, Jai Bharat. Okay. Thank you, sir. RNS. Okay, not RNS. Sorry, Ujjwal ji. I'm sorry. I'm saying my own name. Okay. Let's see. It's different based on blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's see. Okay, guys. Let's stick to the topic here. Okay. I hope I got everything. Okay. So let's go back to Flash. Because I'm working here. Happy Navratri. Okay. So Navratri. Okay. So I will flash freeze this question and freeze. Please, do you want to explain also? I have some points about this that I'm thinking. Yes. Are you muted?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Welcome.
Happy Diwali. Yeah.
Happy
So you have
Diwali.
time? How much time do you have?
Oh, I have time. Don't worry.
Okay, so I bring this point because this is, honestly speaking, this is a very general scenario right now, and I'm sharing my what's written down is basically my situation, my feeling as of right now. Why I will I'll bring that why. So as you know, I'm into sound and I'm an acoustician. So it's basically about soundproofing, acoustics, blah 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 blah. In that comes theaters, it comes home theaters, nightclub, conference room, blah blah blah, everything. So I'll make it very simple. So this is actually a story. Okay, if there's chance, if there's time, I'll give two examples. So I get
Okay.
contacted by a middleman. Okay, audible, right?
Yeah.
I get contacted by a middleman for a project. He
I'm
takes
so
me to an
sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to take you, but I'm going to be in the background and listen to the whole thing and chip in if I need to. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Rachna. Thank you, Freeze G. Please carry on. Thank you.
freeze only, no G for
Okay,
me.
freeze. Okay, freeze. Freeze. You're not supposed to talk then. You're supposed to freeze.
I okay.
Right, carry on.
Okay. So again, I get contacted by a middleman because that's how it works here. For any work, there's always a middleman who gets you the work. He takes me to an architect. The architect takes me to the client. I sit in a meeting. I speak to the client. I convince him. Okay? And in acoustic soundproofing, there are different layers that goes in the wall. Okay, of different materials. That's what stops the sound. It's a very common phenomenon. So I speak to the client and I convince him there's bargaining going on in terms of pricing per square feet. And when I finish, I convince him everything is done awesome. Okay, we come to a like everything is agreed. Then I come down. Then the architect and the middleman. So basically, we have agreed for a six-layer treatment of of the wall. Then we finish. We come down. The architect and the middleman take me to a coffee shop. And so I'm under the impression, okay, and this is 5 years ago. So I'm under the impression that, all right, so now we're going to speak about how much they want out of it and how much a percentage of commission, blah, 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 blah. The middleman is there. So when I sit over there, they speak about the commission, and guess what they come up with? So I have agreed and have promised to give a six-layer treatment, and they're saying, forget about three layers, you just do three layers. Okay, I can't hear you.
And charge for six. So they're asking you to do like a.
So they're asking me to cheat basically. Now, this is honest speaking, that's how most of the stuff work over here. Now, the problem with that is, I'll give you again a real example. Not long ago, just three to 4 years ago, there was a club, a pub in Bombay at Kamla Mills that caught fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that caught fire. I don't know how many guys you're aware of that. That caught fire, and 22 people died in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So in that scenario, what happens is the entire blame goes on the guy who's done the work. The the owner is left. Nothing happens to him. The contractor, the middleman, and the architect. So who got the job done? He got the job done. That's the problem. So trust me. In the recent years, if like in a month or in 6 months, if I have 10 meetings, I get only I actually get only one project because rest all of them is basically this is how the work is. You go, you promise something, and you deliver something else, and that is so frustrating. That really holds up my work. So I have only, it comes to a point where I have only two things to do. Now I know my equal competitors, and then I come to know later who's got the job done. Okay? And then later on, I'm in a fix that should I become like them, okay, or should I stick to mine? Now, if I become like them, there is always a fear and a scare of what if something happens and that entire blame and stuff is going to come on me. So I don't do that. But if I don't do that, what happens is I keep losing projects. I keep losing projects. So that really, it is so, sorry to use the word, it's so pissing off because that then again generates hopelessness, So that's where my question is what I've written down. So
Okay.
what is a kind of a, like, do you think there's a middle decision somewhere to be taken, or actually I stick to what my heart says?
Okay. So thank you for trusting me with this. I will put down some. Hold on. I'll just share the screen and let's talk about it in the context of everything that you just said.
And
Okay.
if possible, I could bring in another one. If you have time, I'll make it quick.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Okay,
Tell
you're
me.
going to do the. Okay. Okay. So the very similar stuff is in 2016 was Make in India, and I had gone and spoken in the Make in India seminar and the first gathering which was there.
Okay.
And my subject was about again soundproofing because even big and huge factories they generate a lot of noise. Rubber. So I happen to basically over the years I have come up with something that would now in Bombay traffic there's so much of noise. So
Yeah.
abroad, if you go from Japan to even Europe, there's a lot of sound barriers you come across everywhere. Now there are sound barriers and stuff only in the recent time, but they are so bad. It hardly works. It does nothing. So in Bombay also, like let be Kokila Ben, let be all the hospitals right besides down, you have such heavy traffic generating so much of noise from the honking to everything for that matter. Then we have the Diwali, which also creates so much of sound and noise. And it's been I have actually approached authorities in terms of government and given my own you could say invention or my own ideas about soundproofing and sound absorption in open areas, but the stuff is just lying with them, nothing goes forward. So again coming back to the point, it really it's so just waiting kuch ho raha nahi hai, and it again builds up hopelessness and frustration. Then so at that position, what do you suggest one should do?
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Freeze, for this question. It's really, uh, and I can see that it is coming from your heart because that is something that is like weighing you down as far as should I stay true to my authentic self, my value system, and should I just stay as who I am, or should I just bend just a little bit to, there's so what society deems success, right?
There's no
Uh,
little bit, Rashna ji. There's no little bit. Either it's their way or you're not getting the job. There's no little. It's simple as that. Bend
yeah,
little.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
straight up either their way or the highway. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you just have to like close your eyes, just shut down some of the voices that are like saying that, hey, this is not you, who you are authentically and all that. Just shut down all that noise and like, okay. So let me do one thing. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay. So I will tell you one example, Freeze, just for you to. I might not have the exact solution of like what you can do going forward or anything, but because it is up to you. The reason why I don't always propose anything directly as a solution is because I strongly feel that if it is your goal, if it is your solution, only then you will be 100% invested to fight for it. So that is my strong belief. So I will leave it up to you how you try to figure this all out for yourself. But here are some points that I would like to talk about. Okay. So the first thing is there are, like, let's say just broadly we are talking about three different things, and in that context I want you to think about just a story, right? So, Rohingya refugees or like Syrian
Mm.
refugees, uh, Rohingya refugees who are crossing in the middle of the night, dangerous, terrains. North Korean defectors who are crossing this ice cold, like minus some
Yeah.
freezing degrees.
Even the Mexican coming into America, something like that. Yeah.
Exactly, you got the point. So, what are they trying to do? Why are they escaping the most known environment that they have been in all their life? What are they trying to do? In your opinion, what do you think is happening there?
Going for a better life, opportunity.
So, the end result is they are coveting, they're pricing. So, price ka let's do like, I'm not a very good artist, but this is like, let's say, what are they coveting? This whole thing that they like, their pricing is peace of mind. Okay. So how I generally operate in my own life is, if I can, same thing, right? Like you, I have a small business. I can just keep on like bombarding people, like doing all kinds of things that don't fit in my personal value system. And let me do one thing, I'll just hide this so that people can see everything. Okay, so I can bombard everybody and like try to sign up with all kinds of people and grow exponentially. Okay, but my thing is, I don't want to, मेरे को नहीं करना है. Okay, what I do is I try to say, what do I want? The ultimate destination is me peaceful with myself, that I have picked the right path for myself, setting an example for my two boys to follow, that it's okay. Sometimes life is difficult. Last year, I lost $30,000 because of the pandemic. I was going to open 4 locations. It's a major, yeah, so it is a major fiasco and everything, right? But I am prevailing. So the end of the day is I have prevailed, right? All my life's resource, like everything gone, and I am here. So that is the spirit of human resilience, right? The first thing why your brain says is, अरे यार ये तो hopeless situation है, ये सब corruption है साला, ये कोई सुनता नहीं है, बात कुछ करता नहीं है, everybody is into themselves and all that, right? The brain wants you to think like that because it is in your best interest to not have to do anything. अच्छा से victim mode में बैठो and blame it on the society. Then what
Are you
happens
saying I'm
is
not
your
taking the
brain,
risk?
no, I'm just saying why the brain wants you to think like that. It says that if you think like that, hopeless situation, then what happens is there's no action required on your partner. You don't have to do anything. You can just blame the system and like, ho gaya, chalo, this is not. But if you say, what are you doing? You're like, hey, forget these guys. I have an innovation idea. I'm going to pitch it. You are not holding yourself back. You are countering what your brain is saying. You are not, you are still attending those 10 meetings, even though you know the turnover rate, the conversion rate. See, I talk to 200 parents in a month. Do you know how many people sign up? 2 parents. We don't know what is in their mind. Your product is good, you talk really well, you can engage the children, everything is, how can I control the other aspect? So there is Seth Godin karke, there's a amazing marketer, you might have heard of his How to Sell a Purple Cow or something like that. He wrote that book. He says, I will be a writer, I will write, I will write until somebody hires me to write, or I will write for my blog. So no matter what, freeze for yourself, freeze. You are a DJ, man. You got it. You have the industry experience. You have the knowledge. You know everything. You know what you're talking about, right? So what is your definition of success? What that frustration that your brain says you are having is, so I see, I want the Nobel Prize in 2044. Phrase. For me, I act like I already got it. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow car accident I'll be dead. But I cannot think, okay, if I operate in that lack, that array mere paas Nobel Prize nahi hai, so I will feel that lack in myself and I will not be confident. I want you to, hey, freeze. This is your exercise just for yourself. अच्छा से एक clean white paper में points. What is freeze? What is freeze? He is a DJ. He knows everything about acoustics. He knows all the 6 layers. He can even close his eyes and smell. And one of the layers, he can say it by name. Like he can do everything, and he
I
can
can.
even touch it. Exactly. So, right. So these are the things that define you. And you, what happens in victim mindset is you're not playing to your strength playbook. You are outsourcing your greatness to other people to give you the label of success. So DJ up, okay, just for your example, maybe you're not comparing to yourself to them. So Avicii ma'am hai, I'm sure you know Avicii, who killed himself, one of the greatest
I know.
DJs, all these teen, yeah. So I want you to prize your mental sanity and what you stand for as a human being. To, you said that your family, your mother is there, right? to, in the context of mother, everybody does their best work. Share what you are doing. Amma, this is what I'm doing. This is what I stand for. Success is how you see yourself and other people recognizing you for your greatness. But personally, I don't want anybody to recognize my greatness because I already know that I am awesome. Okay? So I want you to say for yourself, your homework is write your list of strengths. So what happens is here, when we are operating in the lack, that hey, I don't have somebody's approval because ये साला middleman खा रहा है, ये कोई government कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. Start a blog, start a podcast, tell everybody in the world who are aspiring DJs what they can do. What are the mistakes that you are doing as your journey? I'll tell you, freeze 100% guarantee. Would you rather not have those 9 other options to go and discuss, and you want only the one that is working out? No, you want all the 9 because you're better off because of them, not worse off, right? So let us put all this in context. Hopelessness and helplessness is what the brain wants you to feel because it wants you to be in victim mindset because there's no action required. That is the only thing. That is the thing here. So I want you to understand here, as I can see it, you are prizing the most important thing. Even refugees around the world who pull themselves out and go and live यार Mediterranean Sea में in a dinghy where 30 people can fit, 800 people are crossing the ocean,
Mm.
never again to see the light of the day in the middle of those waters. They're ready to die in the search and hope of an opportunity because they want peace of
They're
mind.
going for it.
आपको peace of, yeah, exactly. They're coveting peace of mind. You are coveting. What are you doing right now? You're simply saying that the weight of the peace of mind is far more than the money that I will have. Yeah, abhi to, okay, so I've lost some money. I only found exactly how much I lost because I was paying taxes. I was like, yaar, ye kya ho gaya? My husband is like, chalo, tera dream, sabko dubaya, okay, chalo. And he was just joking. See, the point
No, no, no,
is,
no. I am not that kind of a guy who victimize myself. For me, it's like, okay,
yeah,
it didn't happen. I move on to the next one.
yeah.
Obviously. Hmm.
Obviously I can see that because you're still attending those 9 potentially not, probably not working out solutions. You're still attending them because
Of
you
course.
know what you have to offer. You know already what you have to offer. You just have to bring that back into the forefront. That's all you have to do. Everything else is great. So just for yourself, the homework is, am I playing truly to my strengths playbook? Am I meeting my own expectations? Yes. So Seth Godin says, right, be a writer, write wherever you get a chance. I teach wherever I get a chance. Seva invites me, all
I'm a
these
writer.
non-profits keep
I write
inviting.
everything. Hmm.
There you go. Yes, so now you're already, see, the connection between our fingertips and our brains is so close. When you put them into, everything comes into picture, like, you can visualize exactly what is happening. So my challenge is, are you, ask yourself, am I playing to my strengths playbook? Yes, you are innovating, you are like hustling, you're like, hey, here, you are an expert in your field. You know that the other people still don't know it yet, and maybe they also know it and they're trying to take advantage of that, right? So that is what is happening. This is the game that we are playing. I'm asking you, are you playing a finite game of just winning that contract, or are you establishing as a beast in your field? Start a podcast. Tell people, children who are entering into the field, who see all these. I listen to Lahore, the whatever that song that gentleman sings, Randwa, like whoever that. I don't understand its lyrics, but all these DJ
I
guys,
don't
right?
listen
Like
to them.
who, okay. And I sometimes I'm a closet hip hop fan and I keep listening to it. But these guys, what do they do, right? People see and they're fascinated by that lifestyle, that bling and all those things, right? And they're like aspiring. Maybe you have that insight to prevent other people from making the same mistakes that you have done. Share your wealth of information that you have. Okay, play to your playbooks wherever you get a chance. Plug in. You plug in and pitch, right? That is the whole thing about your personal brand. Your personal brand freeze is freeze. Okay, so you can also for the other person say, यार मुझे मालूम है कि you are telling me that 3 layers you want me to put. यार, if there is any problem, I will be screwed, right? You can tell them that, and you can also tell them, I my value system says that I cannot do anything less than 6 layers. Let's do one thing. Let's all take a cut in that and try to do the right thing for them. Okay, what is the worst case scenario? What is the first? Sorry, my Wi-Fi is bad again. So what is the worst case scenario that will come out of this freeze? You will simply, that person, they won't agree, and you will not get the contract once again. Ho gaya na? At least you are filling that expectation gap from your end, saying that Babu, मेरे को ऐसा नहीं करना है, because I want to do the right thing. Because there'll be बच्चे, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds who are going to play, who are going to dance all in these night parties to loud music. I want them to have a good time and also go back to their homes alive. Right? That's your whole point, right here. Right? So if I see what you are telling me is terrorizing me, because I am thinking now, because there was a night club fire here as well, right? So I keep thinking my 16-year-old, maybe he will go out to party, and I want him to be I want you to work with contractors like you to build that kind of a place, not discounted material and all that kachada, right? So this is the real. So what are you doing? Plugging yourself to your strengths, plugging yourself everywhere where you are known for your strengths. That is the game that we have to play. Okay, this is, sorry, I just wanted to address Ujjwal ji 1 second, and then we can continue this, and if you have any thoughts, and we can just talk. Let's
No, I think
Ujjwal ji, are you
Ujjwal ji came to speak with me. I'm assuming.
Okay. Then no, he's welcome to. Yeah. Please, Ujjwal ji, you
Of
can
course,
unmute
of
yourself
course.
and speak. Moral support के लिए, I think he gave you for your.
Ma'am, I came to wish you, Freeze, and all our friends out here, a very happy Navratri,
Thank you.
Gudi Padwa, and Hindu New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am, I just wanted to share a thought,
Yeah.
and this has been bothering me for quite some time, maybe a couple of years, 3 years, and there is a big confusion, particularly even in our generation and even in the Gen Next, the ones growing up.
Yeah.
What you mentioned about the brain tricking yourself into a hibernation or procrastination is actually, yes, it's very, very true.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we use all kinds of excuses and modern lingo to trick ourselves. The most common mix-up which is being used and now being popularized as being a part of today's fashion. Oh, it's karma. See, people are using karma to substitute destiny.
Yeah.
Also to substitute fate. Destiny and fate are probably they mean different. They mean different things. Okay, karma is very, very different. It is at the heart of our Sanatani civilization in an Indian culture. That is why we were a nation of innovators. Always, all good innovations, all the original innovations have come out of our own culture. Okay, so karma is action, which should not be confused with fate or destiny. Fate or destiny are part of what we call, our elders used to call prarabdha.
Prarabdha karma. Yeah.
Yeah, so very often there is this confusion. It unsettles me when I see this being used so loosely, and it is this kind of blaming somebody, the third person, for our misfortune. That excuse which allows us to go into a hibernation. At times I also get affected by it. It is a constant dynamic. Then I mentally, restrain myself, kick myself. I said, why? What you're avoiding, you try and tackle that.
Yeah.
You go after it, and then you won't need to avoid it anymore. Just wanted to place this thought.
No, this is, you're absolutely right. Sometimes what you do is you delegate or you outsource your responsibility using all these fancy words. You are absolutely right. That is the word play that we are getting very good at. Especially, uh, so there was this article, right? So grandparents now have so much time on their hands because, first thing, the children are not getting married. The second thing is the children who have gotten married don't have any expectations from the parents that they have to read them stories or stay in touch or anything like that, right? So everybody has so much time to to use their own sovereignty, like their own personal freedom to do whatever they want, like all these generations, right? But we are constantly outsourcing that same sovereign power using all these fancy words. We delegating our responsibility and like just like washing off our hands. The 100% true whatever you said about, and you said karma is action. That is the key here, right? You have to do your thing, whether it comes, whether you can make it your destiny or whether things out of your control make it your fate, right? So but you still have to do your karma to get to wherever you have to be. So that is awesome. That is awesome. Sir, anything else? I'll just check comments a little bit and then I'll come. I think
Yeah,
the people,
just
yeah.
wanted to add,
Yeah.
just want, yeah, just wanted to add. See,
Yeah.
karma is the heart of all our itihasa, dharmic itihasa or otherwise. Karma is the heart of Gita, Gitopdesh, as well as Mahabharata, as well as your Ramayana. It's the, yeah, that is what
Yeah.
all I wanted to. Thank you.
No, this is great. This is great. Thank you, Ujwalji, as always.
Chalo,
Okay.
Rachna ji, even I leave, and
Okay.
from what I take out of this is, of course, I'm not a giver. Also, I'm always
Yeah.
somebody who keeps. I never give up.
Yeah.
Probably I have to give more to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, no, no. You just
come
have to
up
stay in the
with
lane. Yeah. You just have
stay
to,
in
you
the
are doing.
lane and come up
Yeah.
with more convincing strategies, more
Yeah.
convincing solutions that I still have it, and
Yeah.
we both agree to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Sometimes,
Okay.
see, all people, especially everybody wants to do the right thing. But what they do is that contractor, that middleman, they just, okay, yaar sab log kar rahe hain, what is the problem? That is exactly the problem, na? Yaar mere ko nahi karna hai aise. I want to do the right thing.
Hmm.
What does it take? Let's make it work. So once I get a person in the door, I want to make it work with him or her. I don't like,
Hmm.
because it's not, if it's not about the money, if it's not about anything, what is it about? I want to do the right thing. Let's do it now. So this is what you just have to communicate. That's all it is, right? So
Cool.
you filling and going that extent to fill that expectation gap from the other person. That's it. Thank you,
Cool. Thank
please.
you. Thank you. Thank you to you too. Have a
Thank you,
great
thank you,
weekend ahead. Bye.
thank you. You too. Bye. Okay, so I think, guys, sorry, I haven't been able to check messages. Okay, so let's do this once again. I'm checking messages. Okay, okay. So Pooja says, मैंने उसके क्यू का question का answer लिखना चाह रही थी. 3 expectations from myself. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so did you do it later? I'll check if. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Uh, So Team SSR says Abhimanyu Sanathan dismissal. Okay. So let's do this. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Deepak ji is here. Hello, hello. Sujata ji, hi. Nice to see you. Chunnu Kumar ji, what's happening? कैसे हो आप? Justice for SSR. Yes, sir. आपका YouTube channel, nice. No, your YouTube profile picture looks good. Let's try to see. I believe there is some kind of okay internet issue. Let me close my photo. And let's do this. I just want to flash the question once again. Chinu Kumar ji ko, if anybody can explain in Hindi, come and explain in Hindi, that will be awesome. But the question is, what are your top 3 expectations from yourself? Okay, so let's get back here. And I mean, I can wrap up if there are no questions, but thank you for those of you who have joined, given your wisdom and asked some, questions, trying to figure out your own life's questions, like in your current scenario, what are you doing? Okay, so let's about what we can do to address people's expectations and our own expectations. So what happens with our capacity for greatness and why sometimes that gets covered over. Okay, so commitment. So first things first, let's talk about what happens, what we think about expectations. The biggest mistake. Okay, Rudraji, if you're still watching, we were talking about all the different kinds of strategies that we can use, okay, so that we can manage our expectations well. So the first thing is we make the misunderstanding that, expectations is a contract, but usually it is a one-sided contract unless and until you make the other person or the other party aware of what you're thinking. Otherwise, it is just an assumption from you and a hope from your end. Okay, again, the example is the same woman can be the most loving mother to a child and the worst enemy to his or her friend, right? So why does that happen? That is because expectation gap. Okay, so that is one of the biggest strategies. And how do you how do you make sure that you keep closing that gap? Is by effective communication. Okay, so we also talked about it. So usually for children, for parents who have children, I always say, who are trying to deal especially with teenagers and everything, so trying to understand teenagers that they are already getting crushed under the weight of their own expectations, the changes in their body, they don't understand what's going on, they're trying to figure out what's happening, and they're also getting crushed under peer expectations. So please try to come midway and help them by asking them to set realistic expectations. Okay, ask your children to set realistic expectations with themselves. That is very, very critical, because if we don't set realistic expectations with ourselves and don't help our children to do that, they don't develop a healthy self-esteem, self-confidence will suffer. That is very dangerous in the long term. So the next thing is, we were talking about it earlier, establishing boundaries. And if anybody is trying to take away and like impose more expectations on us, like communicating that, hey, these are my limitations, this is what I can do effectively. Okay, the next most important thing is, I talk with a lot of people, single people. Okay, expectations for single people has skyrocketed, because I'll tell you again, we were talking about it in the earlier session also. We see so many different kinds of pictures on the internet, and we assume that our potential partner can be so handsome or so beautiful and all that, right? That is our expectation. But when you are in the market to look for a potential partner to marry or to spend your rest of your life with, you have these unrealistic standards. So if you are trying to look for a soulmate, I request you to please lower your standards and just connect with people in your circle, or extended circle, or strangers, just to see everybody at the most human basic level is generally a nice person. We just have to explore that. So don't have your preconceived expectations of how a person should behave. Hey, he or she has to pay for my lunch or dinner on the first date. These are all, who created all these expectations, these marketing gimmicks, all these guys have created that. So try to stay true to your own values and your expectations. Think for yourself and lower your standards to get started on that journey of finding your partner. Okay, so I talk with a lot of people who are single, and I know it is heartbreaking to hear that a lot of people actually want to settle down, actually want to get married, actually want to have somebody to share their life with, right? But or travel or anything, but they're not finding the Mr. or Miss Right. Give Please give everybody a chance if you come across them and see for who they truly are. Okay, so that is one thing. So finally, if anybody has it, I'll check the comments quickly before wrapping up. But understanding that our frustration is also set in our unrealistic expectations and our desires not being met. Okay, it's not the event that irritates us. It's not that situation that irritates us. The expectations that not being met is the problem. So just try to understand and try to set realistic expectations. So the freedom that you will have when you understand your own expectations with yourself is immense. So try to chase that rather than bringing down anybody else with your expectations. Whether you're a housewife, you even if you are a housewife, you have your duties and you still have your boundaries where other people cannot impinge on them and have these unrealistic expectations from you, because you also have a life. You need to be able to stand up for yourself, and you are not a superhuman just because you're a housewife and apparently have a lot of time on your hands. So expectations have to be realistic so that you are not disappointed in yourself and you are not disappointing other people. Okay, so freedom, coveting freedom and peace of mind is important. And the finally, I just want to say, I'll check the messages if there are any questions. But actually, you know what? Let me do the questions and then I'll do the final statement. Okay. Anybody wants to join? And let me flash the StreamYard. Okay. And then also copy this. And one final time, if anybody wants to do that, let's see. I'll post, and I believe I saw Sukija ji, but I think he got disconnected. Okay. Okay. Sexy, never go. Okay. Hi, Pooja. Sorry, did I miss your question? Please put it here once again. I think you said that you had a question or something. Okay. Never go for short-term income, you may lose, but long-term you'll be definitely happy. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly, Satish. That is amazing, because are you collecting things that money can buy or things that money cannot buy? That is what, that's what I keep thinking. Am I gathering the love, the respect, or the trust and the belief of people around me, or am I just accumulating things that money can buy anyway? So that is the whole thing. Hello, Palomi, so happy to see you. Chunu Kumar Ji, voice for SSR. You are our voice for SSR. Chunu Kumar must. That's what he writes. Let me show this. Hold on, I believe. Why can't I show this message? Okay, so now I can see. Okay, so let's see. Ashnur Ji says, freeze, is it possible to contact employment, etc.? Okay, and so he can. I was also thinking that good point, Ashnur Ji. Maybe private companies he can approach and pitch instead of government. Maybe it's just taking longer. That's a great point. Sushant defined his path, wrote it down, and followed it. Define passion and action is equal to law of attraction. That is awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, equal to non-translatables. Okay. So master contributions. Okay, thank you. Okay. So creating value for each one of you is important for me. So I really appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. I want to make sure that your time is valued here and more than anything else. Okay. So, okay. whoa. Okay, sorry, I'm not following that. Okay. So कुछ से कहते हैं चुन्नू जी 3 चीज बताइए मैडम को. Oh yeah. Thank you Shivani ji. Awesome. You are my heroine. And I always want to give your example when I do the consistency. If you're still listening, I hope you are. I always want to give Shivani ji's example. If you see her anywhere on any of the channels that she goes to, she actually gives 40 rupees as a token of appreciation, and I think that is the perfect strategy to be able to sustain long term, showing the support to people, and staying consistent with your effort and your support. That is the biggest thing I take away from Shivani ji. That is what she teaches me, to stay consistent with the support and the approach that she takes. I'm super impressed with her every time, and she's just amazing that way. So this is the comment that I put here is for Chunnu Kumar. खुद से क्या चाहते हैं आप चुन्नू जी? 3 चीज बताइए मैडम को. Okay, to everybody. Okay, thank you Shivani ji. So I think Chunnu ji has left. Oh, सो चुन्नू कुमार जी स्टिल एसएसआर के साथ क्या हुआ था मैडम? ओके, सो आप फॉलो कर रहे हैं वरुण जी का चैनल चुन्नू कुमार जी? ही हैज अ लॉट, ही हैज कंप्लीटली इग्नाइटेड द फायर अगेन, एंड ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट वो एसएसआर के बारे में बहुत बातें कर रहे हैं आजकल. तो आप प्लीज आइए एंड आपकी भी बात रखिए. ओके सो हम भी जानना चाहते हैं. ओके, सो यू वांट टू आल्सो. ओके, सो let's see. Okay, so I have a real hard dating 2 at a time, generally got, and rest is not to be told. Okay, so soundscapes, unfortunately, I cannot be party to this comment. I cannot. Okay, no comments. Okay, so we all should expect that I must be true and active part of adjustment, no matter how much time it takes. Okay, so Sukija ji, 100% I agree with you that it is a commitment that we show to our fellow SSR warriors. I 100% agree with. Okay, Shivani ji, please, this is not what I meant. Oh man. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Shivani ji. Please, I'm so embarrassed. Okay, please, thank you. I really appreciate your. Oh, okay. So thank you. So okay. Oh, sorry, I wanted to go back here. Sukija ji, yes. So expectations again. So if you remember one time, Amarji had said there is a little bit of people in his family might not be exactly on board. Let me switch off the camera. The people might not be exactly on board with what people I mean, what he is doing for the SSR movement. So, yahan pe bhi, we had talked about that Amarji will have to tell his family members, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the path that I'm taking. And this is the time consumption that will happen. Like, so my dedicated time is 45 minutes a day for SSR movement, because I am part of this. And this is again what Shivani ji, people like Shivani ji have taught me about consistency, the approach of consistency, right? To be there, to make your voice heard, and to show the solidarity and support, right? So that is so aapka, I agree with you that you're passionate, and no matter how much time it takes, we're pacing ourselves to stay, without losing our momentum. 100%, sir. Thank you. So, okay. So, okay. So, once again, thank you, Shivani ji. I really appreciate that, your kindness. Uh, you know, uh, we all have our voice, and we all have a capacity for extreme kindness, but sometimes we get carried away in group think, and we don't think for ourselves. And you are one of the people who showcase that kindness, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So karma stands for actions and responsibilities. Ramji, yes, 100%. Ujjwal ji had talked about it earlier, and he had a wonderful commentary on that about destiny versus fate, and how your karma right now will determine ultimately what we will receive. So okay, so okay, no, that's no, absolutely, ma'am, 100%. Okay. Yes, exactly. So I agree with Tanya ji, 100%. Okay, so okay, guys. Once again, I will just leave you with just one thought exercise. If you can think about this and how you can just take this to the next level of becoming unstoppable. Okay, so the capacity for greatness is inherent to all of us. We all have it in unlimited supply, but we get carried away by the noise. Okay, there is a German philosopher called Frederick Nietzsche. Frederick Nietzsche, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, what he said is we all live our lives in three different phases. Okay, the first one is you are a camel. We act as camels as we are growing up. A camel is oont, I think, in Hindi. Oont. So how a camel lives is uh, it's obedient. It's blindly following, like what other people are doing. And how we do that in our life is we just adopt other people's virtues and good things about them, and assume that they can be our values, and we start living our life by that. What happens in the second phase is we become a lion. Lion is uh, Simham in Telugu. I don't know in Hindi. I'm not getting the word. Okay, so lion is, if anybody can put in the comment, that will be great. So lion is, if you notice, some people, they'll be rebels just for the cause. Okay, just without a cause. Okay, they want to be different for the sake of being different. They want to like try to like create some noise and like generate some attraction towards them. Like just for the heck of it, they try to be rebels. But if you understand that whatever they're trying to draw attention to is actually, and what they're trying to avoid is actually becoming a bigger attraction than who they are really. So stop giving power to all those things that you want to avoid in the first place. Just don't be a rebel just for the heck of it. Okay. The thing he says is you don't have to be a camel or a lion. You can just be a child. You can just be yourself. So observe any child. What is he or she doing? Just being themselves, right? So I request you to be yourself, your most authentic self, and try to level up from that baseline. So there were so many people who were commenting saying that what are their expectations from themselves? Ignore negativity, spread positivity, all of those kinds of things, right? So let's charge our momentum from that baseline and become unstoppable. So thank you for always being here, and I really appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, share. Okay, share is the one. Yes. आपके अपने से तीन मुखिया अप- क्या है? Okay. Oh, I think he just translated it for me. Okay, I believe it. Thank you. So let's see. I believe there is, okay, one of Sushan's favorite. Okay. Yeah, 100% he was a man of complete action, not just like all these sweet, positive kind words, but absolutely. Yes. Saji, thank you. Okay, yes, Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher. Yes. Okay, so okay, guys, over and out, and I will see you guys next week. I really appreciate the footage that I get here, and I really appreciate your eyeballs. Thank you, over and out. Goodbye.